The war in Ukraine is still raging. May 29th, 2026, Lyman direction, Signum Battalion, and Russian assault groups trying something new. The soldiers in this footage are wearing what appears to be thermal camouflage capes designed to reduce their heat signature and make them harder to detect from above. The idea is sound in theory. In practice, the capes restrict their movement, slow their pace, and make them look exactly like what they are. Soldiers wearing thermal capes in a forest that Signum's operators know better than anyone. Fiber-optic FPV drones don't rely on thermal imaging alone. The operators find them anyway. One by one, each soldier is located and struck. The new countermeasure didn't change the outcome. A Black Sky drone operator scanning the Donetsk region came under fire from 2 Russian soldiers. They fired at the drone but failed to bring it down. Moments later, the operator maneuvered and struck back. Strangely, the 2 soldiers ended up lying on top of each other, and neither of them escaped. This time, a Russian soldier sleeping under a tree becomes the target of an FPV drone. One FPV drone, 1 Russian soldier. After encountering the drone, the soldier found himself in such a bad position that his only option was to run. He didn't even have a weapon to defend himself against it. The drone operator quickly pursued him and eventually struck the soldier. The Russian soldier targeted by the drone was waiting in panic among the bushes, but it did not help him. This soldier believed the bushes were enough to conceal him, but the drone operator had already spotted him. He had no chance left to escape. In this footage, a Russian soldier is seen lying inside a sleeping bag hidden among the bushes, completely unaware that operators from the 414th Magyar Birds were already watching him. Or had he noticed the drones and was trying to hide? Before long, an FPV drone was dispatched. The soldier remained covered and lying still as the drone struck. He did not survive. Southern Ukraine, Ukraine's 422nd UAS Regiment Luftwaffe unit, a Russian firing and logistics position spotted by reconnaissance drones as soldiers move in. They're still setting up when the kamikaze drone arrives. One strike. The position that was being established is gone before it could function. When a position is struck during setup before it becomes operational, how does Russian command establish any stable logistics infrastructure on this front? In this footage, Ukrainian soldiers were conducting a ground operation when they narrowly avoided a Russian artillery strike by just a few centimeters. This soldier noticed the drone rushing toward him only at the last moment, but it was already too late. This footage shows a Russian soldier inside a trench, spotted by Skelya 425 reconnaissance drones. Several drone strikes had already hit the area. The soldier was in bad shape, torn uniform, no weapon, completely alone. He signaled that he wanted to surrender. The request was accepted. He climbed out carefully and walked toward Ukrainian soldiers waiting outside the trench. He was taken prisoner safely. Not every drone strike ends with an explosion. Some end with a soldier walking out of the war. When a soldier surrenders after drone strikes rather than continuing to fight, what does that moment tell you about morale on the Russian front line? Kherson direction, Ukraine's 39th Marine Brigade. Stick drones intercepting Russian FPV strike drones mid-flight. Not missiles, not electronic warfare. Stick drones. Simple, cheap, effective. Closing in on incoming Russian FPVs and bringing them down before they reach their targets. This is the improvisation that defines this war. When a Russian FPV is inbound, whatever intercepts it first is the right tool. And stick drones are proving to be exactly that. When improvised stick drones can intercept FPV strike drones, is low-cost counter-drone technology now outpacing expensive air defense systems? A Ukrainian Su-27 fighter jet destroyed a railway bridge over the Bakhmutivka River north of Siversk, Donetsk Oblast, using a GBU-62 precision-guided bomb. The bridge was used by Russian forces for logistics and for deploying assault units. 4 Russian soldiers, 1 heavy bomber drone, 1 TM-62 anti-tank mine dropped directly onto their position. Minimal fragmentation, maximum concussive force, at least 1 confirmed. The others, at that proximity, won't be recovering quickly. A Ukrainian drone struck the Russian frigate Admiral Essen at the Novorossiysk naval base marking the 3rd time this caliber missile carrier has been hit while Russian air defense systems fired but failed to stop the drone. A Ukrainian FP-1 or FP-2 drone strike on the Russian frigate Admiral Essen at the Novorossiysk naval base could not be stopped despite the ship's heavy defensive fire. The vessel suffered major damage. Russian soldiers attempt to defend their truck from incoming Ukrainian UAVs on the road between Mariupol and Berdyansk. The first drone misses, the second one doesn't. Here comes the second UAV. Yeah. 59th Separate Assault Brigade, named after Yakov Handziuk. The Hawks of the Heights, 1st Unmanned Systems Battalion. Russian vehicles and motorcycles don't last long in their sector. The footage shows a systematic sweep. A truck here, a car there, motorcycles trying to slip through back roads, each one tracked by reconnaissance drones first, then struck by FPVs. The operators don't rush. They wait for the right angle, then hit. 12 Russian Shaheeds intercepted. None of them reached their targets. 1st Heavy Mechanized Brigade Air Defense Battalion, working through the attack wave one by one. Each Shahed carrying a warhead designed to strike Ukrainian cities, infrastructure, or military positions. 12 intercepts means 12 potential impact points that never happened. When air defense crews intercept Shaheeds in batches like this, is low-cost drone interception now Ukraine's most scalable defense against mass drone attacks? Kostiantynivka, Donetsk Oblast. Russian infantry that had pushed deep into the city using industrial buildings as fortified positions. Ukraine's 28th Mechanized Brigade artillery targeting them directly. Industrial structures, thick walls, multiple floors, designed to withstand decades of use, don't hold up against precision artillery fire. Building after building, position after position. The deeper the push into the city, the harder it becomes to supply and support those forward positions. Artillery is making it impossible to hold. When artillery can target infantry inside industrial buildings, does urban penetration still offer any real tactical advantage? May 28, 2026, SBU Birds, another night of deep strikes across Russian-held territory and Crimea. A ST-68 radar with a radio-transparent dome, destroyed in Feodosia, Crimea. A Pantsir S, 1 air defense system, taken out in Novofedorivka, Crimea. Railway fuel tankers hit in Makiyivka. Ammunition depots, logistics warehouses, a mobile fire group, all struck across multiple occupied regions in the same night. That's the 27th and 28th Russian air defense elements destroyed by Ukrainian drone forces in May alone, in just 28 days. Think about what losing 2 more systems in Crimea means. Every radar gone is a blind spot over the peninsula. Every Pantsir destroyed is one less layer of protection for Russian naval assets and military infrastructure there. The air defense network isn't just being degraded, it's being systematically dismantled. night by night. When 28 air defense elements are destroyed in 28 days, at what point does the network simply stop providing meaningful coverage? That's everything for today, May 29th, 2026, day 1556 of this war. 267 combat clashes recorded, with the heaviest fighting in the Pokrovsk and Huliapol sectors. Russian forces carried out 86 airstrikes, dropped 269 guided bombs, and deployed 7,881 kamikaze drones. Russian total losses have now crossed 1,361,070 personnel, with 960 casualties in the last 24 hours alone. Ukrainian forces also destroyed 1,750 UAVs and 28 artillery systems in a single day. Ukraine's long-range campaign continues to expand. Ukrainian forces now strike targets over 1,000 kilometers inside Russia most weeks. The Admiral Essen frigate was struck inside Novorossiysk naval base. The Tuapse oil refinery was struck again. 28 Russian air defense elements destroyed in May alone. In 28 days. The front holds, the drone war never stops. No radar, no frigate, no oil depot is safe. Subscribe for daily frontline coverage. No agenda, just the facts. See you in the next one.